Alright, you guys, so we're going to do this while I'm driving because I think that'll be a lot better, clearer, instead of me just standing in one place and you just looking at my face all the time. But yeah, so should you or shouldn't you get a sports car at a young age? And my answer to that is yes, you should get a sports car at a young age, right? But if you can maintain it, make the payments on that and all the other stuff, then yeah, you should get it. But if you cannot do that, please do not waste your time on that, right? Or if if you're doing what I'm doing, which is car content, right? Then yes, you should get it, right? But it still factors in that you should be able to maintain it, payments, insurance, maintenance, security, like thefts and all that type of stuff. So yeah, like all that you should be able to maintain if you're gonna get something like this, right? If you cannot maintain that, please do not waste your money and all that other stuff getting something that you can't afford and all this other stuff, right? Now, can I afford this? Yes and no. I will be very honest with you. Yes and no. Yes, I can afford this, but in retrospect and the reality and all that, no. But, and this is the big but, I do that with going in, or whatever the case may be. And also, for what I'm doing, it'll be worth it, right? Since day one, I've been doing car reviews, right? Since I started doing YouTube and all that, I've been doing car reviews, right? And in the very beginning, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to have a cool car just like this and make cool, fun content on it and be showing people what it's like to own it and be just having fun with it, right? Whatever the case may be, right? But I couldn't do that. So car reviews was my only way of getting to do car content, right? Which is fine, it's not a deal breaker or whatever the case may be. It's fine. But at the same time, every dealership ain't gonna let me do it, right? So I had to get into the habit of knowing that, which I already knew in the beginning that they were not gonna let me do it, but I had to accept that with a hearing that, hey, they ain't gonna let you do it, right? Which is fine. They're a place of business, that's not an issue. But my issue really is relying on them every time I need a video. If I need a video from them every day time, and they say no to what I needed, or whatever the case may be, I'm left with nothing. So if I'm always left with nothing, then what can I do? I can't grow from that. I can't grow if I'm always needing them for content and all that, right? And so I went ahead and just took the initial step and got the car that I actually want and making content on that, right? I would just go ahead and go with my first idea since day one and make content on a cool car that I actually want to own and keep, right? And just show you guys my journey with that, or whatever the case may be. So that's why I got this car, right? I didn't just get this car just to get it. I got it for a purpose, or whatever. Whether you agree with my execution idea of it or not, that's the reason why I got it. And so I have a purpose for this, and I'm willing to take that risk with this purchase and my idea with it, then just sit back and be like, well, they're not letting me do it, so I'm just gonna crawl in the corner somewhere and cry my eyes out. No, I'm gonna take the initial step with it, take a risk with it, and go all in with it, right? So I have a purpose with this car, or whatever the case may be. So I have a purpose with this. So I'm willing to get a car in my 20s that I somewhat can and cannot afford, or whatever the case may be. Even though I can't afford this, I own this car for 2 months now, so there's that. But still, I'm willing to take that initial step with it and just go all in with it. So that's what I'm saying, is that if you don't have a purpose for getting a car like this at a young age, or you can't afford it, physically can't afford it, and mentally, like in your mind and all that, with like the owning it, stressing of it, and all that, then you should not get this, right? But like I said before, if you have a purpose for this and you're ready to take that risk with owning something like this and have gonna get an execution, not execution, but the results that you're looking for out of it, then yes, you should own it. If you know deep down that you can get the results that you want out of this with making a risky purchase like this, then yes, you should get it, right? Because there's no story. No, there's no risk without a story, right? When you see all these wealthy people, whatever the case may be, tell a story that had a risk with it, it's entertaining. It's entertaining because you want to think, or whatever the case may be, you want to know, okay, he did this with little to no money, or whatever the case may be. Did he survive? Did he quit? Did he, or did he, kept going, or whatever the case may be, and all that. And so, alright, and that's what I'm doing, is that this is a journey, and this is the risk I am willing to take when I make this purchase, right? I couldn't just sit back and get rejected all the time for doing car reviews, right? And by the way, you always gonna hear no's. My issue wasn't them saying no, right? I've been heard no's plenty of times. But like I said before, my main issue was always relying on them to get content and just not myself with certain things, right? And I didn't want to do that no more. I can't and don't want to rely on somebody to give me content all the time when my content is in their hands and they can control it whether they give it to me or not, right? That was my main issue. But anyway, yeah, I think you should get a sports car for like the stuff I've been pointing out, if you can maintain it, like physically and mentally and all that, or if you have a a purpose for it, right? You have a purpose for it, and you know for a fact that you can get results out of it with the little things that you do have, or whatever the case may be, right? So yeah, I think that should be it. I think that's it. Like, you should get it if you have a purpose for it, or you can just flat out afford it, or whatever, and willing to take the risk with it, then